Hello and a very good morning from Calcutta. This is Souvik. You're watching Souvik Says. This is the channel that helps you decipher tech. What we have in house today is the 70Mai Dashcam Pro Plus, which is a dual channel dash cam. Comes with a 2.7K Ultra HD front and a full HD rear camera with dual channel recording. It also has built-in Wi-Fi that you can use to connect to the concerned app, along with a GPS module that helps you track your location and speed. Not a real-time location, but what the GPS module does is overlay the coordinates that you are driving at. That helps you with any insurance claims, or if you have to provide any proof in terms of any mishap that happens while you're driving. So let's quickly unbox it and look at what comes in the package. Once we open up the box, we are greeted with a couple of more boxes inside. Let's quickly open them up one by one and see what it contains. This is the first one. I see this is the tool that helps you pry the let's say the roof liners and route your cables. So yeah, I will keep this will be handy. Other than that, we have, this is the long cable, so I'm assuming this is what will be used to route the feedback from the rear camera up onto the front, and this seems to be the smaller cable or the shorter cable that will be used to route the front camera over to the power source, which I believe is this guy here. So let's open this up quickly. Yeah, so as you can see, this is a standard cigarette lighter charger with a couple of ports. I'm assuming the red port is meant to power the dash cam, and the additional port can be used to, let's say, charge your phone or any other USB device that you may want to charge while on the go. Other than that, we have this holder, which I'm assuming will be stuck onto the windscreen. I'm not sure if it's the front or the rear, but yeah, that's what we have on this packet. So let's take this out and look at what we have in the other one. Okay, so this one is a smaller box, I think, that contains the documentation and stuff. Let's quickly look at it. Yeah, we have the sticky pads used to stick on the windshield. I think it's a couple of them, one for the front and one for the rear. Keeping this aside, we have the user manual and a quick start guide, which we will refer to off camera. Let's not waste our time doing this. And here comes the start of the show. This is the front facing camera, the one that shoots in 2.7K. That's your lens. It goes onto the windshield like this. This is the part that sticks to the windshield, and this is the rear camera. Again, a similar design but a smaller one, so it sticks to the rear windshield and gives you a full HD feed. Yep, so what left now is to go ahead and put them up on the respective windshields and do the cable routing. So let's go. So to install the rear camera, what we will need is the squared off stickers. It says very clearly to pull it off before you start using. So what we're gonna do is pull this off, stick it somewhere around this place, and then we need to remove the peel from this portion. Yeah, so this one goes in this way. While this might seem upside down, but when you close the boot, this actually becomes the right side up. Another way to understand this is the wire side of it goes towards the left side of the car. So that's how we're gonna put it. Let's get that done quickly. Another thing we'll also need to ensure is that the windshield is clean. So if it's not, maybe just wipe it down a little bit, let it dry, and then we stick it, right? So over here, ensuring there are no bubbles. If there are, we'll have to get them out. It's like putting on a screen protector on your phone, a similar approach, you know. Go slow and make sure that you minimize the air bubbles as you go. I'll just try and show you what it looks like. Okay, you can't even see it probably, but I've stuck it over here. It's absolutely flush, it's absolutely transparent. So yeah, let's so next step is to install this piece. Again, it goes in like so, it sticks here, and first peel this. Okay, so the backing goes off like this, and now we can simply stick our camera onto this one. It's a simple step, right? So now this is what our camera looks like, connected onto the windshield, the rear one that is. And if we close the boot, this is what it looks like. So you can see the lens over here, and it's sticking to the electrostatic tape over here. The next step is to insert the micro SD card into the main camera unit. You have a very clearly marked micro SD slot right over here. I'm using a 32 gig SanDisk Ultra. So you can hear a click when you insert it. So let's do that right now. So how we insert it is, when you're holding the camera with the 70Mai logo right side up, we insert the card with the chip side at the top, and the chip goes in first. So we enter it, give it a push till you hear a click, and it's in. Next step now is to insert, or rather put this main camera unit up on the windshield. Like with the rear windshield, we have a electrostatic sticker with our camera. I'm not sure if you can see it, it's extremely transparent, but yeah, that's what it is. This one goes into the windshield first, so let's do that. So there's a 70Mai logo right over here. We'll keep it the right side up, and we just try to test the backing plate. This is how it goes in and out. So we're gonna just put this in first. Again, what we do to install the backing plate is to remove the covering at the back. Then we just place it on the electrostatic sticker, give it a good push, and I think it's in. The only thing left now is to plug this one in, and how we do that is okay, we just put it in, give it a bit of a push to ensure that it's in there, and that's it. So now, as you can see, we have our dash camera installed, and if you feel that the angle is not accurate, and let's say things are a little here and there, you can always twist and turn this to capture the right angle. Alright, so to connect the rear camera, what we need to do is, you see there is a port here, and the longer cable also has a similar port on this side. So we just match the grooves, push this in, and this is connected. What is important is to ensure that we route the cables in a manner that it doesn't dangle or it doesn't interfere with folks who are sitting. And typically what we'll see is that this is the part that goes into the main camera unit. So that port is towards the driver's side or the right hand side of the car. For folks who drive a left hand side, yeah, it's on the right hand side of the car, so it typically will be beneficial if you route the cable from the right hand side of the car rather than from the left hand side. So yeah, let's get to it. The wire, I believe, is pretty long. We can very easily route it. How I'm planning to do it is to fold down the rear passenger seats, then route the cable through the floor and bring the seats back up. I'll show you once it's done. So let me show you how the wiring has been done. I couldn't film it because I was doing it all by myself, but yeah, this is where the wire is coming out from. What I did is I went in and I routed it on the edge of the parcel tray. Then if you come down, this is where the wire is coming from, and then I kind of routed it towards the passenger seat. Right now, if I take you to the passenger side, yeah, this is where the wire is coming from. So I kind of tucked it on the passenger side, and then I used this beading all along to route the wire. It has gone in till here, and not sure if you can see it, but then I have a little bit of slack because there is no beading here. I kind of just routed the wire like that towards the driver's seat. And if I take you to the driver's seat now, this is where the slack of the wire is coming in from, and then again I have beading available here, so I'm using the beading to pass the wire right through this entirely on this edge, and then you would see some slack here in terms of the wire coming out. That has been done purposefully to ensure that it's not too taut and it doesn't kind of come out when it jerks and stuff. The wire management around here is not that great, as you can see. I connected it to the AV in port, and then I used the roof lining to bring the cable up until here, as you can see. Then the cable comes out, and again I've used available beading to kind of tuck the wire in as much as possible. This beading is what is giving me some headaches because it's not that great, and as you can see it's already coming out from some of the places where I tucked it in. So I'll have to probably find a better fix to this. I don't know what can happen over here. As much as I try to push it in, it tends to come out on its own, which is not ideal. I'll probably have to find a different way of doing this, maybe just secure it in some manner over here. Yeah, other than that, it's more or less seamless, doesn't show up a lot of wires. It's time for me to connect the front power wire now, which is this one, and again use a similar approach of trying to hide the entire wiring through the available beading and stuff. And yeah, let's see how that comes out. Alright, so the wiring is done. Plugged in the power port here. I had to unplug the rear camera wire first because this wasn't going in. So yeah, that's a pro tip. You can remove the rear camera wire first and then plug in the power and then plug this back in. As you can see, it tucks in pretty neatly one on top of the other. And then the wiring, I just put it inside the this goes all the way here. Use the beading, come in here, and then one nifty trick is to route the wire through the glove box, and then it goes into the power port. That's how it is. Alright, so let's take a look at the camera and its features. So down here you have a button. Pressing it switches on the screen, pressing it again switches it off. And while this is a screen, it's not a touch screen per se. So you have a series of 4 buttons down here with a depiction of what each of those buttons does right at the top. So the first one is to switch between the front and the rear camera, the view that is. While the recording happens simultaneously, you can see you can only see one view on the screen at a time.
Switch to front-facing recording.
The second button initiates an emergency video record. What that means is it will record a 1-minute clip and store it in a separate folder that cannot be deleted automatically. You would have to manually delete it. The third button here is the gallery, or let's say the album, where you can see the various footages. And the fourth one is settings. And now when you get into one of the menus, it typically will also change. For example, the buttons now change, so the leftmost button becomes the back, the next two are used to toggle, and for any selection we select the last button. So yeah, that's what the camera interface typically looks like. Okay, there is also a LED light over here. A green here indicates that it's shooting a video. A blue means that the camera is on standby, and red indicates that there is some error.
So let's see what the footage from the 70Mai Dashcam looks like. This is a sample shot during the day, and this is what the front image, the 2.7K image looks like. If we move towards the rear, this is what the 1080p feed looks like. You tell me, how does this look?
When the light drops, the situation changes drastically. You really cannot read the number plate or the details that well. To access the footage from the camera, we will be using the 70Mai application. Let's open it up first. What we need to ensure is that we are connected to the hotspot of the camera. Once it connects, you can see a live feed with the option of an album. Click on the album icon and that should open up all your footages broken down by the main camera and the rear camera. In order to download an image, we can click on the image and then select the download option. The alternative is to select the multi-select option up at the top right corner and select the different clips that we want to download and then click on the download button at the bottom. It takes some time to download, so we've sped the footage up for your benefit. The same approach can be followed to delete the footage as well. All right, so let's talk about the final verdict for the 70Mai Dashcam Pro Plus with dual channel recording. I'll break this verdict down into three things that I like, things that are okay-ish, and things that I do not like. If I talk about the things that I like, obviously the quality of the footage that you record, at least during the daytime, is pretty decent. You have good number plate readability. The things that I feel are okay-ish or even at time gimmicky is the ADAS function. I have not even enabled it. There is a gyro sensor that kind of detects sudden movements or jerks and records an emergency video. And I feel that even at its least sensitive setting, it's still very sensitive. Even driving over certain undulations or bumps starts an emergency recording. So no, that's not really that efficient or useful. If I talk about the things that I do not like, firstly would be the readability in low light. On the front camera, the footage is still usable, the footage is still decent. The rear camera footage in low light is next to unusable. It's just a video feed without any details, without any readability of the number plates. The other thing is the camera tends to get pretty hot, the front camera that is, when it is recording. I'm not sure if that's because of the SD card I'm using, but when I read through the user's manual, it requires a class A SD card, which I already am using. So I'm not sure if the heating is normal or if that's something that I need to be worried about. Now, I've used this camera, this dash cam, for the last 5 odd days now. So it's too early for me to comment on whether the heating will cause any longevity issues in the long run. But as of now, other than the heating, there has been no issues that I have observed. The last thing that I feel is a miss is the usage of a lithium polymer battery in the camera, as opposed to using a supercapacitor that is ideally advisable. So the battery over a period of time through usage will degrade, and I don't know how long, but it will definitely give up at certain point in time and will require either a repair or a replacement of the camera altogether. Yeah, that's about it. That's about the 70Mai Dashcam Pro Plus with dual channel recording. I will put a link to the product in the description down below. If you're interested, you can go and check it out. If you decide to buy using the link, it will not cost you anything extra, but will help the channel through a certain commission that I will receive from Amazon. So yeah, let me know what your thoughts are. Please like the video, share it with your friends who are in the market on the lookout for a dash cam, or drive a car and you feel a dash cam is necessary for them. And if you're not subscribed yet, please make sure that you subscribe. This is Souvik. You're watching Souvik Says, and I'm signing off for now. Take care. Bye-bye.